We're going to leave it there and get into a story that is important to just about all of us. I would say actually every single one of us. It affects us anyway. It's about money, income, the cash we all need to live on. Remember the Fight for 15? It's been around for a decade. National political movement started with fast food workers right here in New York. They walked off the job, demanded a $15 minimum wage. Well, guess what? This month, 3 states actually hit that goal of $15 as their minimum wage. And in recent years, a lot of major companies have voluntarily raised their pay to $15 or more, and it all adds up to a multi-billion-dollar boost for hourly workers. But stay with me. In a new book, author Rick Wartzman uses the story of Walmart to argue that all of corporate America, for all of this change, is still paying its workers way less than it should. And the solution, he says, is something almost no one is talking about.
This is that place where we care for one another.
It's one of the biggest stories in all of business.
This is that place where you can grow your career.
A tale of reinvention at America's largest private employer, Walmart, once the poster company not only for low prices, but low pay.
Walmart, you're not good.
For years, unions targeted Walmart with protests and pointed to worker testimonials like these.
Walmart paychecks simply don't cover rent, bills, and groceries.
I was literally starving to death.
People were ending up on, food stamps and Medicaid and really struggling.
Rick Wartzman was part of a team behind a 2003 Pulitzer Prize-winning LA Times investigation of Walmart, detailing alleged penny pitching with its own employees. But in more recent years, even he and many others have noticed a shift.
And I thought, boy, there's something interesting going on. Something's changed.
And the company welcomed him in for his new book all about that change. From 2015 to 2021, in fact, Walmart invested $5 to $6 billion in higher pay, increased benefits, training, and education. And yet, this is not the book Walmart was hoping he'd write. Just look at the title.
Still broke. Did you wrestle with that one?
I think the company's still broke. After all the change that it has made, on this front, it hasn't fixed things yet.
To make that case, Wartzman uses the very same numbers that Walmart cites with pride, including an average wage that's now more than $17 an hour, higher than the minimums in every state in America.
So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is we've kind of forgotten what people actually need to live on.
That $17 an hour works out to an average annual income of just under $29,000 a year.
At the end of the day, after all this change, after all the pushing and internal conversations and internal soul searching, that's not a living wage.
And the problem, he says, is far bigger than just Walmart.
What this has shown me, just by looking at Walmart, is that corporate America overall will never go far enough, fast enough on its own.
The only solution, Wartzman says, is a federal intervention, a new national minimum wage of $20 an hour, almost triple the current level.
We've let things go for so long and haven't dealt with the problem that now our backs are against the wall. We don't have time for incrementalism anymore.
Walmart's CEO agrees that at least some increase is required.
The federal minimum wage is lagging behind. $7.25 is too low.
But $20 or even $15 is so high, according to some economists, it could backfire. Last year, for example, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office concluded that raising the minimum to $15 an hour by 2025 would indeed lift some 900,000 people out of poverty, but would result in higher prices, leading to fewer sales and resulting in companies reducing their employment. In the end, it estimated 1.4 million Americans would lose their jobs.
So the trade-off is, yeah, you help a bunch of people make a little bit more, but a whole other bunch of people are going to be out of a job entirely. And what about them?
Yeah, I don't buy that. There are always going to be trade-offs. There is no perfect solution to this. We've dug ourselves a hole over 50 years. But again, we've got to do something.
Walmart argues it's already done quite a lot in recent years.
The bottom line is, if Walmart were not in operation in this country, there would be more people on public assistance, not less.
Dan Bartlett is one of the company's top executives.
This is a Walmart Academy, something that didn't even exist, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
He wanted to show us a training facility near the company's headquarters in Northwest Arkansas, where workers can pick up skills to help them at Walmart and beyond.
What we're providing to them is an enormous amount of opportunity for them to grow with the company, to make more money. And to them, they have to decide then is what is the wage they need to provide for themselves or a family. We're going to give them an opportunity to grow.
But as Walmart pledges to keep raising pay, according to its website, Rick says it already has the money to do it, pointing to the tens of billions of dollars spent in recent years buying back its own stock, a move that typically drives up share prices.
Why not take a fraction of that stock buyback money and just give people a more decent living?
So when we look at our shareholders, who, by the way, we have tens of thousands of employees who are invested in our own stock and 401k and those things, so they benefit from those share repurchase as well. The simplistic answer for Rick is that increasing dramatically the minimum wage to $20 will solve all these problems, I think is misguided. And the ramifications of there'll be job destruction. I could tell to you today that if we took overnight all of our stores in Walmart to $20, there would be hundreds of stores that would no longer be profitable.
So potentially the store would shut.
Or you have to decide to
or lay
operate
people
with a
off.
profit. Or raise prices. And so you start raising prices, you're hurting communities. They're the very ones that Rick says he cares most about.
Maybe so, says Wartzman, but whatever the trade-offs of a $20 minimum wage, he's sure they would beat the reality of right now.
And you can see that this is going to sound radical to a lot of people, and I have to admit, it does sound like more than is possible politically.
You can say $20 an hour is radical. What's radical to me is to be in the richest country on earth and have people who get up and work hard every day struggle to the degree they are.
And there it is.
And there it is. It's well said. I mean, it's 40 to 60 million people by most estimates who get up, work very hard every day, and still make trade-offs at the end of the month between food and rent, utilities and food. And it's a hard life.
Let me ask you something, because I know that you do your research before sitting down with anybody. Where does Walmart stand in comparison to Target or someone like Amazon?
I don't know the exact head-to-heads about those individual companies, but Walmart has made a real and significant investment in improving things for its workers, and so has much of corporate America. But you see, when you take $17 an hour and you have a 36-hour weekly, that's a full-time worker, it's $29,000. People sitting on their couch at home, wherever you're living, ask yourself, does $29,000 get you far?
And I think the folks sitting on the couch look to those CEO and top-tier level SVPs, EVPs, and look at their salaries and their bonuses and say, well, maybe those need to come down and spread some of the wealth.
And it's easy for anyone on the outside to look at Walmart and say you're highly profitable. The execs are making money, millions, sometimes billions. Why don't you spread that money among the people that work the hardest on a daily basis?
Because then the stock price falls, and then you're not raising as much money. You can't make investments. This is the trade-off, right? If they went to 20, they'd have to eliminate some jobs, they say, to be profitable. And then someone's minimum wage is not 20, it's $0 because the job doesn't exist.
Me and Nate don't agree with that economic standard.
I think they'll be profitable.
I'm sure there are a lot of people at home shaking their heads as well.
That was good, Tony.
It was really good.